Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Christian here, and it's time for a new Eonic Enlightenment. And just like we talked about in the last video, we're going to be basically touching on this subject. How do you stop a story from basically derailing? And Borderlands 3 is probably my best example of this because they had a lot to its story, but due to something happening in production, maybe they had no idea where they wanted to take the story and then went with this random girl power aspect. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're trying to build a game where you're empowering the female or empowering anything like that, that's good. That's exactly what you should be going with. The problem is, I don't feel like that was the original intended plan. Every Borderlands has always had the intended plan that we are supposed to stop the people from opening the vaults. They open the vault, we conquer the monster, and then we're the badasses. Except for, that's the problem. In this one, we aren't the badasses. It's Lilith, Tannis, Ava, anybody who is not the four Vault Hunters. And that's where I'm bringing up some importance when it comes to your story. See, there are three details that hurt this story, and I'm going to break them down in the ways that make sense. Starting with the first viable problem, the Calypsos. So, with the Calypsos, the biggest problem that they represented for the game was they weren't threatening. I know it sounds strange when I say they're not threatening because they do have really good powers, and hell, at the beginning of the game, me and SK both believed that they were doing a good job compared to Handsome Jack. The problem that we ran into with them is every time they tried to threaten to kill you, they didn't do it. The one time that you get captured by Troy, he gets shot by Wainwright, which, drops you, and he can't even destroy or kill Wainwright. Like, Wainwright's a human compared to us. And yet, he can't stop Wainwright. So already that's bad. But let's also look at another important detail that makes me know for a fact that these two are jokes compared to characters like Handsome Jack. When you get to the end scene and basically Tyreen is, oh, I'm a god now. I'm super strong. There's nothing you can do. And she crushes them with the rock. First up, where did we go? Like, in seriousness, where did we go during this cutscene? Because we're nowhere in sight. But then, it gets even more irritating because as the cutscene is playing out, Tyreen doesn't seem threatening. Hell, she didn't even try to finish the job. She just walked off. And then when she finds out that, oh god, I've killed them. Oh, they're on Necro. Okay, well, I didn't do my job. If this would have been Handsome Jack, there would have been robots storming the damn place trying to kill us, which is what happened. Even though Jack is basically inferior when it comes to his prowess, or basically his demeanor, he makes up for it with the fact of how much power he actually legit had. I hate robots because of Handsome Jack. But at least I hate them because that's how much fear he put robots into me. The fact that robots were always coming after you, and every time you were afraid that Jack was going to kill you, it's because he sent swarms of them. Where the COV, they're just bandits. They're nothing compared to the bandits we've dealt with for years. And the Children of the Vaults, they fall in the same category as the Calypsos. They're not threatening. They've never been threatening, and every time they try to be threatening, it doesn't work. The other problem with the story is the deaths are very impactful. You gotta understand, when the death of Maya happened, a lot of people were shocked. Nobody expected them to kill Maya off. So to see her be the first character killed off, that was kind of interesting. But then her death to me was underwhelmed by everything that happened afterwards. when she dies, not only does not Lilith stand up and decide to go fight with us, instead, she stays on the ship the whole time. That could have been Lilith, is basically what we brought up to her. She couldn't even say a word at her funeral, which I know was a joke, because Patricia, Tannis, and Lilith are played by the same voice actor, but still. You gotta understand, that scene was very impactful. And then when we get to the next big death, Typhon Delian. We barely got to meet this guy. If you didn't do any of the side shit, you would never know who the fuck this guy is. And that pisses me off. Why did you kill him? Why did you kill a character we got no connection to? This is not how, like, the impactful, like Angel, killing Angel. Because you know what? We had 2 games to get to know Angel. We've only had this barely 6 hours to 8 or whatever amount of hours you play the game to get to know Typhon. And instead, you just kill him. That's not how you bring a new character into the game. Especially since I felt like he was going to exist, or worse, if he was going to sacrifice himself, at least it would be more impactful where he actually succeeds. But then the last death, we'll talk about it. Lilith. Or, let me put air quotes around death. Because we all know she's not dead. We all know it. Because the reason why, all she did was implant her symbol into the moon. That's it. How is that impactful? How does that make me want to be so happy that Lilith is dead? Or so sad? I couldn't care less. I fucking hated Lilith by the end of this game. Because she did nothing, she was not her character, and by the time she got her powers back, she reminded me why I hated her character. Because she was nothing more than a self-centered commander. It's so irritating. It's so irritating to know that out of the 3 deaths that were very important to this series, her death means nothing. Because we already know she's not dead. Because if she was dead, we would know because they would do something showing a siren was born. Why not? Why not show that so you can understand that she's gone like Roland's gone? Do you know why we liked Roland? But compared to every other character, we actually could believe Roland gave 2 shits about us and was not afraid to stand on the battlefield. No matter how bad his scorpion turret was, he still stood with us. Lilith stayed on the ship every single time. And every time someone told her, don't go down there, she did it. What happened in 2 when Roland told her not to go? She went. So why the fuck did she do it now? This is how you make someone hate a character who you're trying to prove is a badass. Who you're trying to prove is someone we need to look up to. It was so irritating to stare at this character and know that this was once at one time a character we were all supposed to like. But no, she is beyond bad now. And I can't handle it. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Because it's not like the story had any other issues like, you know, missing Vault Hunters. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's talk about the missing Vault Hunters per se, and then the ones that I'm actually talking about. To start with the missing Vault Hunters per se, I'm talking about the ones that like Gage, Axton, Salvador, Krieg, well, sort of Krieg, but etc. Basically anybody who showed up in Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, and Tales of the Borderlands, they're all written off. Like they're not there. And the worst part about it is when you listen to half of the reasons why they're written off, it's a joke. Gage is not in the game. Why? Why isn't Gage in the game? All we get is an echo log talking about the girl that accidentally got killed because of Gage. Why didn't we get an echo log or anything talking about Gage? At least Krieg got 4, trying to show that he's trying to become a little bit more sane. But even that is upsetting because when you go to the area where you find those logs, you should find him! Seriously! You should fucking find him! Because he's hiding there! Right? But it doesn't matter. Because these Vault Hunters, they don't mean anything to us. It's not like we've been playing fucking 3 games for 10 years waiting for these characters to appear in a better or more... Ugh. Everyone's frustrated by this, and everyone's mad about this. And it's so upsetting that you couldn't even get any of these characters into the game. You couldn't sneak anything. But what's also upsetting is when we talk about the Vault Hunters you play. The 4 Vault Hunters, the 4 of them, mean nothing to the story. Now I'm going to tell you this because this is me telling you from the past 4 games. Every single Vault Hunter meant something to the story. Amara, Flack, Mose, and Zane mean nothing. They didn't contribute anything to the story. Because anytime a story element happened, it was not you, no matter which Vault Hunter you were. No, it was Lilith, Tannis, Ava. What the fuck? Seriously, how do you fuck that up? You had one cutscene in the entire game where you built us in, and that was the scene getting grabbed by Troy. Other than that, we are nowhere in sight in any cutscenes. And you're seriously going to tell me you couldn't work it in? When I see in the trailer, you have scenes built with the Vault Hunters in there. You seriously cannot put these scenes in. You want to know how I know they got lazy with this shit? All you have to do is if you're building scenes like this, you make a scene for all 4. Then you just take the Vault Hunter out who you're not playing. And if it's 2 players, you put the 2 there. If it's 4 players, you put all 4 there. I know this because this is how you build fucking video games. You build the scenes so that way nothing seems like there's plot holes. But I guess it didn't matter. Because you know what? We meant nothing to the series. Hell, Amara, as everyone's saying, is the biggest contradiction to the entire series because she's a siren. So, half the time when I was fighting Troy, I kept asking myself, why wasn't I at my powers getting siphoned? Seriously, I could have accepted when I was playing as her that I would have had no action skill for the fight. Because you know what? That'd be fun. That'd be fine. At least my character meant something to that fight. But instead, we mean nothing. The reason this story fell apart are a lot of the things that I mentioned. But the other thing I want to mention is if you're going to start off the story hot and you're going to have something happen dramatic like Lilith losing her powers, you got to understand the one detail about that that's important. Don't show it in the trailers. Don't reveal it anywhere. You make sure we don't know that she's going to lose her powers. Secondly, just kill the characters. If you are going to kill Lilith by the end of the game, just kill her. I'm serious. I'm not being nice anymore. Just kill the character. Because you already made us not feel worth it, and you already made the character not feel worth it. So you lost us there. Next off, if you're trying to make the Calypsos seem threatening, accidentally killing Maya is not threatening. Why didn't you have them kill people on screen? Seriously. You didn't have them kill anybody but Typhon DeLeon. And even Typhon DeLeon to me was an accident. So, yeah, they didn't kill anybody impactful. Hell, you couldn't even have the little fake out ending where when she kills everybody, she flicks us all off the screen. Like, seriously, you couldn't even have that. I think the only detail I can give Gearbox about their game compared to other series is that at least we didn't have to pay for the ending. At least the ending actually came with the game finally. But the problem now is you gotta fix it. But you can't. The only way you're going to be able to fix this story is by adding a DLC that reduxes the entire story. And then the only way you're going to do that is by making it so that certain areas, the Vault Hunters who are missing rejoin the series, having echo tapes that explain where characters have been, and also having extra detail for characters who are basically so badly underdeveloped that you don't know why they were even in the game. A great example is the B team. There's no point in them being in the game. They don't contribute anything to Sanctuary, they don't contribute anything to the world. They have one area called Boomtown and that's it. We seriously could not have anything else. Mordecai is by far the only character I feel like who has development in his character, and that's because he gets to go to a child's birthday party. The story, as I said, was a big waste, and I don't know what they're planning down the road. I've seen the DLCs are just reskins, and maybe they might try something else, but I'm just gonna say right now, this story is still bad to me, and it eats me every time when I have to restart a character or anything, and I have to revisit the story again. It's not like Borderlands 2, where every time you redo the story, you actually feel hyped and you like it and you enjoy it. I don't know. I gave what I thought could be redone for the story, but at the same time, I guess it's just that Borderlands is probably going this route now, and there's nothing we can do. So get prepared for Ava to be our boss in the next game. This is Chris Yon saying, continue being Neon Star, because I guess we never stop going.